86 days. That is how long Nancy Guthrie has been missing. And in those 86 days, the one piece of evidence that could blow this case wide open, a hair sample collected from inside her own home, spent weeks sitting in a private lab in Florida while the FBI waited. But that is not even the most disturbing part of today's update, because a former FBI profiler has now come forward with a theory about what happened to Nancy on the night she was taken, and his words are the kind that stop you mid-breath. He says she was picked up and carried out, and he believes she may not have survived that night at all. Today, we break down the DNA delay that has investigators furious, the chilling profiler theory that has changed how experts are reading this case, and why the clock is now ticking louder than ever, because in just 4 days, Nancy Guthrie will have been missing for 90 days. Legal disclaimer. The information in this video is based on publicly available reports and verified news sources. This content is for educational and informational purposes only. All persons mentioned are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law.
For those just joining this series, here is what you need to know. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. She is the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the co-host of NBC's Today Show. She lived alone in an upscale, quiet neighborhood in the Catalina foothills just outside Tucson, Arizona. On the evening of January 31st, 2026, her son-in-law dropped her home after a family dinner at approximately 9:50 p.m. He watched her go inside. That was the last confirmed sighting of Nancy Guthrie alive and safe. The next morning, she did not show up for her regular church live stream. Family went to check on her. Her phone was still inside. Her belongings were untouched, but Nancy was gone. Blood was found at the scene, later confirmed to be hers. Her home security system had been disabled. Doorbell camera footage captured a masked individual arriving in the early hours of February 1st, carrying foliage from the yard, most likely used to obscure the camera's view. This was deliberate. This was calculated. And 86 days later, not a single suspect has been publicly named.
Let's get into what is happening right now, because this week brought developments that have completely shifted the conversation around this case. The DNA delay. Hair evidence recovered from inside Nancy Guthrie's home has finally arrived at the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, one of the most advanced forensic facilities in the world. But here is what should make every single person following this case angry. The FBI requested to test this material 2 months ago. 2 months! Instead, the Pima County Sheriff's Department sent it to a private lab in Florida that the department had a contract with. It sat there for weeks, while the FBI, the agency with the most advanced DNA technology in the country, waited. The FBI did not stay silent about this. Assistant Director Ben Williamson publicly confirmed the timeline, making it clear that the Bureau had asked for that evidence far earlier than it received it. A forensic expert following the case noted that DNA testing of this nature could take months under normal circumstances, but that the FBI has the power to fast-track it given the urgency. A hair sample. 2 months delayed. In a case where an 84-year-old woman with a pacemaker and daily medication needs has been since February. Now the evidence is where it needs to be. And the lab believed to be involved is the same Northern California forensic facility that helped crack the Gilgo Beach serial killer case, the Rex Hoyerman case that this channel has also covered. These are not amateurs. If there is a DNA profile to extract from that hair, they will find it. The neighborhood in fear. Back in the Catalina foothills, the community where Nancy lived is not coping well. Residents have been reporting unease and fear, with some telling journalists they no longer feel safe in their own homes. The sheriff himself has publicly warned that the perpetrator could strike again, which has done little to comfort the people living in that neighborhood. Adding to the chaos, social media influencers and amateur sleuths have been physically trespassing on properties near Nancy's home, trying to film content. The situation got bad enough that the Pima County Sheriff's Department had to increase patrols specifically to deal with the intrusions. And TMZ this week reported receiving yet another note, a sender claiming they had seen Nancy alive in Mexico.
Authorities have not confirmed whether this tip has any credibility, and given the number of hoax communications this case has attracted, investigators are treating all unverified claims with extreme caution.
Now here is where this episode takes a turn that nobody was fully prepared for. Former FBI profiler Jim Clemente, a man with decades of experience analyzing violent crimes, has gone on record with his interpretation of the blood evidence found at Nancy's home. His conclusion is this: based on the location and volume of blood found on her front porch, Nancy Guthrie did not walk out of that house. She was picked up and carried. Think about what that means for a moment. An 84-year-old woman, physically lifted and removed from her own home in the middle of the night. Clemente's analysis suggests she was already unconscious or severely incapacitated at the point she was taken outside. And then he goes further. He believes, based on everything the evidence shows, that Nancy may have died either during the abduction itself or very shortly after, while the kidnapper was still in contact with the family through ransom demands. In other words, according to this profiler, whoever took Nancy may have been negotiating for money they knew they could never actually deliver on, because the victim was already gone. Now, I want to be very clear with you. This is the expert opinion of a former FBI profiler. It is not a confirmed fact. Law enforcement has not declared Nancy Guthrie deceased. Her condition and whereabouts remain officially unknown. But this theory, coming from someone with Clemente's background, carries weight that cannot be ignored. Here is what I need you to watch for. Friday, May 1st, is day 90. 3 full months since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home. That milestone matters, not just emotionally, but strategically. Cases that cross the 90-day mark without an arrest become significantly harder to solve. The pressure on the FBI right now is immense. The DNA results from Quantico could arrive at any moment. And when they do, whatever they reveal, this case will never look the same again. Will it be a match that leads directly to an arrest? Will it eliminate every current theory and send investigators back to the very beginning? Or will it open a door that nobody saw coming? I will be right here the moment this breaks. Make sure you are subscribed and your notifications are on, because when this case moves, it moves fast. Nancy Guthrie has been missing for 86 days. Her family has not stopped fighting, and neither has this channel. Stay aware, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.